The stars were calm that night. Above Earth, in the cold black of space, a small silver capsule moved quietly through the darkness. It was old, it was dented, and it was not alone. 2 Earth patrol ships flew beside it, scanning every inch of its surface. They didn't know what was inside, not yet. The capsule had returned from deep space, without warning. No signal, no message. It had come from the direction of Varnak space, and that was the first bad sign. Inside the Earth Command Center, hundreds of officers stared at the screens. General Reed stood tall, his arms crossed, eyes locked on the incoming. "Craft! Open it!" he ordered. The capsule was brought into orbit. Robotic arms pulled it into a large airlock on Earth's moon base. Soldiers in black armor surrounded it. Scientists in white suits ran tests. One word kept flashing on their monitors. "Human origin confirmed." The seal was broken. The capsule hissed. The smell hit them first. Burned metal, blood, and something worse. Something old. Then came the silence. One scientist looked inside. His mouth opened, but no sound came out. He stumbled back, shaking his head. General Reed stepped forward. His face was hard. He looked inside. What he saw would haunt Earth forever. Inside the capsule was a man, what was left of him. His body was broken, bruised, and frozen. One arm was missing. His uniform was soaked in dry blood. A name tag still clung to his chest. Ambassador Leo Graham, United Earth Peace. Corpse. The room went cold. No one moved. They had sent Leo Graham 1 year ago. He was Earth's first ambassador to the Varnak Empire. He had gone with peace. He had gone with open hands. He had not come back until... "Now, run the footage," Reed ordered. The capsule had a black box. It recorded everything. They played the last hour of the ambassador's life on the command room screen. Everyone watched in silence. Leo sat at a long table. He smiled. He spoke to the Varnak leaders. They didn't answer. Then the lights flickered. Leo stood up. He looked confused, scared. From behind him, a large Varnak soldier stepped forward and punched him in the back of the head. Leo dropped. Then more came, kicking, laughing, screaming in their language. No one helped him. The screen went black. The room stayed silent for several long seconds. Then Reed turned toward the High Council. "He went with peace," he said. "They sent him back, like this." The council leader, an old woman named Arya Sun, stood up. "Were we warned?" "No." "Did we declare war?" "No. We never even armed him." "Then this," she said coldly, "is the end of peace." The news spread fast. Across Earth, people cried. Across the colonies, they screamed. Across the stars, humanity changed. The body of Ambassador Leo Graham was placed in a glass tomb in Central Earth Hall. People stood in line for hours to look upon him, to cry, to curse the stars. One child asked, "Why did they do it?" Her mother replied, "Because they thought we were weak." That night, behind closed doors, Earth's War Council met. The walls were thick, the guards were silent, and inside there were no debates. There was only one question. "What happens now?" General Reed answered. "We stop warning them. We stop hoping for peace. We stop acting like children playing in a grown-up galaxy." He pointed to the stars on the map. "They killed peace. Now, we send them something else." "What?" asked another council member. Reed's voice dropped low. "Ruin. Far from Earth, deep in Varnak territory, their leaders sat at their own table. They drank. They laughed." "Did they receive the gift?" asked one. "Humans are slow," said another. "They'll cry before they fight." They didn't fear Earth. They didn't understand Earth. And they had no idea what was already coming. Back on Earth, the factories lit up. The shipyards roared. The signal was sent to every secret outpost, code Wrath. Level 1 ships that had never seen light came online. Weapons that had only been tested in simulations were moved into position. Old warriors were called back from retirement. A message was sent to Mars Command. Awaken Kraken. Kraken was not a person. Kraken was an AI, a war strategist, built for one purpose: total planetary warfare. Kraken had not been activated in over 100 years. Its last battle had ended 3 star systems. Now it woke. Its first words were simple: "Why was I awakened?" General Reed answered on screen. "They killed Leo Graham." The AI paused, then spoke again. "Confirmed. Humanity is at war." In the dark of space, Earth's first fleet launched. No lights, no signals, no sound. They flew like ghosts. Each ship had a name painted in red: Justice, Vengeance, Peacebringer. Leo 1. Inside each ship were soldiers, not just trained to fight, but to destroy. Not to occupy, but to erase. And still, Earth said nothing. The Galactic Council tried to reach Earth. No reply. Old allies warned Earth to calm down. Still silence. The Varnak leaders watched Earth's silence and laughed. "They are afraid," they said. They were wrong. Earth was not afraid. Earth was preparing. One last scene played across all secret Earth screens. A private message recorded by Leo Graham before his mission. In it, he smiled gently. "If I don't come back," he said, "don't lose hope in peace. But don't be blind to evil either. If they kill me, remember what I stood for, and what I died for. And whatever you do next, do it for all of us." The recording ended. No one clapped. No one cried. They just nodded. Earth had sent peace. They got a corpse in return. Now, they would send something else. And this time it wouldn't be wearing a smile. The sun rose over New Geneva, Earth's capital city. But the city felt cold. Everyone remembered the capsule. Everyone remembered the body. The whole world had seen the footage. It was playing on every screen, every station, every ship. Leo Graham's death was now a scar on Earth's heart. In the tall tower at the city's center, Earth's highest leaders gathered. The room was dark, silent, and filled with anger. They called it the Council of Rage. President Arya Sun sat at the head of the table. Her hands were shaking, but her voice was not. "The Varnak sent us back a corpse," she said. "Now we decide. Do we talk, or do we burn?" General Reed stood beside her. "There is nothing left to talk about," he said. The Varnak recorded the murder. They wanted us to see. They wanted to show power. But they forgot what happens when humans get angry. Others at the table nodded. But one man stood up. Counselor Wren, a diplomat. A man who had served with Leo. "War is easy to start," he said, "but hard to stop. If we launch now, millions could die, ours and theirs." General Reed stepped forward. "They already started the war, Wren. We just haven't responded, yet." Wren looked around the room. "What if we send a final message? A last warning? Show we're still better than them?" President Arya closed her eyes and spoke slowly. "We sent peace." Her voice trembled now. "We sent trust. We sent our best. They sent him back in pieces." She opened her eyes. No more warnings. Across the room, a giant screen turned on. It showed a live feed from AI Command Core. Kraken. The massive artificial intelligence had been fully awakened. Its core pulsed with blue light. Its voice came through the speaker, calm, emotionless, unstoppable. "Greetings, Earth Council. I am Kraken. Primary objective: strategic war planning. Target: Varnak Empire." "Status of retaliation plan?" President Arya asked. "Phase 1 prepared. 70 warships on standby, 3 Titan-class destroyers armed, EMP lances charged. Invasion window opens in 72 hours. Counselor Wren's face went pale. "You've already planned the attack?" "Negative," Kraken replied. "I've planned 7 attacks. Your council must choose the level of destruction." General Reed turned to the screen. "Show us." 1. By 1, Kraken displayed the options. Plan A, surgical strike. Destroy only the Varnak military bases. Leave their cities untouched. Plan B, military erasure. Total wipeout of their fleets, weapons, and defense systems. Plan C, planet lockdown. Seal the entire Varnak system with EMP fields. No travel, no escape, no power. Plan D, species elimination. Wipe out the Varnak homeworld completely. A silence fell over the room. Then someone new entered. Her name was Captain Mira Holt, leader of Earth's Special Forces. She dropped something on the table. It was a Varnak medallion, still wet with blood. "Our scout team reached a Varnak outpost," she said. "They weren't hiding. They were celebrating, toasting Leo's death." She looked each council member in the eyes. No more waiting, no more fear, no more peace. Ran sat down. He didn't speak again. President Arya turned to Kraken. "Execute. Plan C. Begin the lockdown. Cut them off from the stars. Let them feel what we felt. Hopelessness." Kraken confirmed. Plan C locked. Fleet mobilizing. EMP grids forming. Operation Silent Storm begins now. On Earth's moon, warships launched. Giant black ships shaped like knives cut through space. Each ship carried drones, shock troopers, and orbital silence bombs. The Varnak wouldn't even know what hit them. In the Galactic Union Hall, panic grew. Other alien races had heard the news. Some whispered, "The humans are going to destroy them." Others said, "It's their right. They warned the galaxy. Do not test Earth." Still, the Council tried to reach Earth. Messages were sent. Pleas were made. No reply. Earth had gone silent. 3 days later, the first Varnik border world lost power. Satellites crashed. Shields fell. Communications were cut. And then the sky went dark. The Varnak High Command met in chaos. "Our systems are falling. The humans are attacking." "No, they haven't fired a single shot. They don't need to," a general said. "They've already turned the lights off." Back on Earth, the Council of Rage watched everything. General Reed smiled, but it was a sad smile. "This is only the beginning," he said. President Arya nodded. "But it will end with them begging for the peace they killed." The sky over Varnak space began to change. It wasn't an explosion. It wasn't fire. It was silence. The kind of silence that made even machines stop working. The kind that felt alive. On Earth, in a hidden base beneath the Atlantic Ocean, a single signal was being prepared. This signal wasn't a message. It wasn't a call for help. It was war, written in digital blood. Inside the command room, General Reed stood in front of a long screen. Behind him, dozens of soldiers, scientists, and operators moved in silence. The room was cold. Everyone knew what they were about to do. Once the signal was sent, there would be no turning back. President Arya appeared on the screen. "Are you ready?" she asked. General Reed nodded. "Yes. Final encryption complete. Ready for global broadcast. Do it," she said. "Let them all know what they started." The signal was called Wrath Code. It was made using ancient Earth languages, encrypted messages, video, and sound waves that even alien sensors could understand. It carried the last footage of Ambassador Leo Graham and the scream before he died. When the signal launched, it hit every corner of the galaxy in minutes. Varnak warships received it. Border stations blinked. Civilian planets panicked. The message played on repeat. It was short. It was deadly. Earth sent peace. Video. Of Leo smiling, holding the peace treaty. "You sent this." Footage of the beating, the laughing, the corpse. "You called us weak." Audio of Varnak commanders mocking Earth. Now we answer. We won't speak again. Sound of thousands of warships powering up. This is not war. This is judgment. Panic. Spread across the stars. Alien races who had mocked Earth before were now afraid. Some locked their borders. Some sent peace offers to Earth, just in case. But Earth replied to no one. In the Varnak Senate chamber, screams echoed through the halls. What is happening? They are jamming our systems. Where is our fleet? We can't contact them. Something's blocking all. Signals. The Varnak Emperor watched the human war signal on repeat. He shook with anger. Send our fastest ship to Earth. Offer them gold. Apologize. But the message came back clear. Ship unable to leave system. Solar gates disabled. The humans had sealed their skies. Back on Earth, the Council of Rage watched from a tall tower. Below, the people of Earth stood together, waiting to see if the war would be won without firing a single shot. General, Reed knew better. They won't surrender yet, he said, but they'll scream soon. Kraken, the AI, reported from the War Corps. All systems green. EMP field successful. Varnak space locked. No escape. Phase 2 ready. President Arya asked, "What is Phase 2? Planetary shock operations. Rapid silent attacks. One planet at a time. No mercy." On the edge of Varnak space, Earth's fleet waited. Thousands of ships, some small, fast, and sharp, some the size of cities. At the center, one black ship pulsed with red light. Its name was the Leviathan. It was the ship built for only one purpose: revenge. Inside the Leviathan stood Commander Ray Voss. He had once trained Leo Graham. He had once believed in peace. Now he believed in balance, and that meant burning those who broke it. He gave the order. First target, Varnak Prime's moonbase. No warnings, no words. Make them understand. The warships moved like ghosts. No lights, no sounds. Then, impact. Shock rounds tore through the moonbase. Power died. Buildings cracked. Varnak's soldiers screamed into radios that no longer worked. They never saw the humans. Just shadows. Then silence. On the ground, a single survivor crawled to the command desk. He touched the control panel. A human voice came from the wreckage. "You laughed at death. Now meet it." Then the panel exploded. Back on Earth, the people saw the first red mark appear on the star map, a mark showing the first strike. They didn't cheer, they didn't dance, they just stared, because they knew this was only the beginning. President. Arya looked to the stars. "They opened the door," she whispered. "Now we close it behind them, forever." Space was silent. No wind, no sound, no light, except for the cold stars watching from far away. But something was moving in that silence, something massive. The Varnak systems, once full of activity, had grown quiet. Trade ships were gone. Defense patrols had vanished. And then, the sensors went dark. No data, no signals, no warning, just fear. Commander Ray Voss stood on the bridge of the Leviathan, Earth's largest warship. He stared out the thick glass where the Varnak border systems blinked in red on the screen. "All ships in formation?" he asked. A young officer replied, "Yes, sir." Cloaked, silent, awaiting final orders. Behind the Leviathan, thousands of ships floated like shadows. Some were small and sharp, like knives in space. Others were giants, shaped like beasts from old Earth stories, dragons, serpents, and hounds. Together, they were known as the Silent. Armada General Reed appeared on the command screen. "Commander Voss, begin operation, Shadow Storm." Voss nodded once, then turned to his crew. "No engines, no transmissions, we don't speak. We don't show our face. We move like death in the dark." The order was simple: March across Varnak space, one world at a time. No contact, no negotiations, only action. Ships activated their silent drives. No flames, no heat, just invisible movement. Like ghosts drifting across the black sky. In the Varnak core worlds, leaders were panicking. "Where is their fleet?" one screamed. "We can't see anything," another shouted. "Launch our probes!" But the probes never made it far. Each one disappeared without a trace. Varnak command stations only heard static. Then silence. One by one, small Varnak outposts began to vanish. No explosions, no battles. Just gone. Left behind were empty bases, burned fields, cold buildings, sometimes just craters, and a single message scratched onto a wall or stone. You killed peace. The Varnak Emperor sent a final desperate message to Earth. "We will surrender. We will pay. Just speak to us." But Earth never responded. Because Earth wasn't listening. Earth was moving. On board the Leviathan, Commander Voss reviewed footage from the latest mission. Team of black-armored human soldiers moved through a dark Varnak base. No one fired. No alarms. They left strange devices behind. Then they vanished. 30 minutes later, the base shut down. Permanently. Kraken, the war AI, spoke through the bridge. Speakers. Psychological warfare in effect. Fear level among Varnak leaders. 91%. Mass surrender is possible within 6 cycles. But Voss wasn't satisfied. "No surrender," he said. "Not yet. They must understand." On the next moon station, Earth's forces dropped a hologram projector. It played a looped message in every Varnak dialect. "This is not war. This is balance. You broke peace. You broke honor. Now, we break you." The Varnak. People, once proud and arrogant, now hid in bunkers. Children cried at the sound of silent skies. Parents looked up at the stars and whispered, "Don't see us. Don't come here." The humans didn't reply. But the stars above them began to move. Back on Earth, the Council watched the progress. President Arya stood before the giant screen showing the expanding red zone. Dozens of Varnak systems had gone. "Dark. No losses?" she asked. General Reed nodded. "They never saw us coming. We haven't lost a single ship." "And the galaxy?" she asked. "They're watching, and they're scared." In the Galactic Union chambers, emergency meetings were held. Ambassadors shouted at one another, "Why didn't we stop Earth? They were peaceful for 100 years. They were holding back." One elder spoke softly. "Now we see their truth. They are not monsters. They are balance." In a dark Varnak city under the ground, a young soldier named Kel held a broken weapon. He stared at a strange human symbol burned into the wall. He didn't understand the words, but he understood. The message? "You started this." Commander Voss stood on the Leviathan's bridge, looking at the next target. It was the Varnak homeworld's defense gate. He didn't smile. He didn't speak. He just raised his hand, and the entire armada moved forward, without a sound. The planet was called Varnak 4. It was not the homeworld. Not a military base. It was a colony, small, quiet, mostly civilians, farmers, miners, traders. They had heard the rumors about Earth's revenge, about the dark warships moving silently through space, but no one believed the stories. Humans. "Are weak," one Varnak officer said. "They cry when they lose. They won't come here." He was wrong. Above the skies of Varnak 4, space began to bend. No sound, no warning, just darkness. And then, shapes. Black ships. Dozens of them. They didn't announce themselves. They didn't ask for surrender. They just opened their bays. And the storm began. The first wave dropped from orbit like falling stars. But these stars were not made of light. They were made of fire, metal, and rage. Earth's drop pods hit the surface in silence. When the dust cleared, black-armored soldiers stepped out. Each one moved like a machine, fast, sharp, cold. Their faces were covered. No words. No signals, just action. Inside a Varnak control tower, alarms screamed. Officers scrambled to grab weapons. "They're here," someone shouted. "But how? They didn't trigger our sensors." Another looked at the screen. "There are no signals. They're invisible." Then the power cut. The tower went dark. Outside, the soldiers came. In the city center, civilians ran in every direction. Some tried to escape on ships, but the sky was blocked. Earth's fleet was above them now. Varnak 4 was sealed. No exit. Commander Ray Voss watched from orbit. He stood on the Leviathan's bridge, arms crossed. His officers reported, "City 1 under control. Enemy resistance, low. Civilian panic, high." He nodded once. "Proceed with sector clean." On the ground, the Varnak guards tried to fight. They fired plasma rifles at Earth soldiers, but their shots missed or bounced off advanced shields. The human soldiers moved in, swift, precise. One by one, the towers fell. No explosions, just quiet shutdowns. Captain Mira Holt led her unit through a command bunker. Varnak guards fired wildly, but her team didn't even slow down. They planted shock charges on the walls. When the charges blew, the walls didn't crumble. They simply vanished, vaporized. Mira stepped through the smoke. Behind her helmet, she whispered, "Balance restored." In one building, a Varnak commander held up his hands. He tried to speak. "I surrender! I surrender!" But the humans didn't reply. They simply dropped a small cube at his feet. It beeped once, then showed a hologram, the image of Leo Graham, his broken body, his lifeless face. Then, in Varnak language, the cube spoke. "He came in peace. You answered with murder. Now we answer." The cube went silent. The Varnak commander dropped to his knees and cried. In orbit, Kraken spoke from the Leviathan. "Varnak 4, neutralized. Casualties, 0 human, 479 Varnak combatants. Civilian casualties, none. Result, message sent, Commander." Voss watched the planet fade into darkness on the screen. "No glory," he said. "Only justice." The news spread across the galaxy. The fall of Varnak 4 was a warning, but no words were spoken. Only images, footage of silent soldiers, burned bases, and a strange symbol burned into the center of the city, Earth's peace emblem, crossed by a single red slash. Other alien races saw the sign. They remembered Earth's warnings from years ago. Do not mistake our kindness for weakness. They hadn't listened then. They were listening now. Back on Earth, the red zone on the star map expanded. One planet taken, others marked for entry. President Arya Sun stood before the council. "No speeches," she said. "No celebration. We are not monsters. We are memory." A child on Mars watched the footage with his mother. "Will they come for us too?" he asked. She shook her head. "Only if we forget what they gave us first. Peace." In a cave on a distant Varnak world, a soldier whispered into a broken radio, "They're not here for war." "They're here to remind us." Then silence. The news of Varnak 4's fall spread like fire in dry wind. Across alien space stations, markets, outposts, even pirate dens. Everyone talked about the same thing. Earth's black ships, the silent soldiers, the red slash symbol burned into the cities. Fear was in every whisper. On Varnak Prime, the capital world, High Leader Dren Kuro slammed his fists on the war table. "They destroyed one of our colonies in hours. Where was our early warning system?" His generals stood silent. Then one said, "They never sent a signal. We don't know how they arrived." Another added, "Their weapons cut through our shields. Their soldiers never missed. It was like they had already studied us." Dren narrowed his eyes. "How?" In the shadows of the room, An old advisor stepped forward. He looked nervous. "Sir, there are rumors." "Speak," Dren growled. "They say Earth's AI, called Kraken, can listen across systems. It watches, records, learns. It studies. Enemy language, weapons, tactics, then erases them before they know what happened." Dren scoffed. "Machine myths," the advisor whispered. "Varnak 4 believed that too." In a dark chamber beneath the Varnak intelligence building, a young analyst stared at intercepted footage. It showed Earth's soldiers moving through Varnak cities with military perfection. One by one, they cleared zones, neutralized weapons, and jammed comms before locals could speak. "They're not just angry," the analyst whispered. "They're ready." Then the feed glitched. A message blinked on her screen. "We are watching too." "Kraken," she screamed. Meanwhile, the Leviathan was already moving. Earth's flagship cut through space, heading toward the next target, a weapons factory moon called Jarek 5. This time, Varnak forces were ready. They had warships waiting in orbit. Gun. Platforms. Mines. EMP nets. They were prepared, or so they thought. When Earth's fleet arrived, they didn't come close. Instead, they blinked, jumping from a distance and launching drones from 1,000 kilometers out. Each drone moved like a ghost dodging fire, disabling turrets, marking targets. Inside the Leviathan, Commander Voss gave a simple command. "We do not destroy the factories. We disable them." "No civilian deaths," his officers nodded. This was not chaos. This was message warfare. On Jarek 5, the light suddenly died. The air vents stopped. Power grids failed. Then all screens lit up with one image: Leo Graham, Earth's peace envoy, floating lifeless in his destroyed capsule. His last message played in loop. "We came with open hands." "Why did you send death?" Across the galaxy, news networks showed Jarek 5 going dark. No explosions, no resistance, just silence and fear. Back on Varnak Prime, military officers began requesting asylum on other planets. Some even fled. They had seen the pattern. Earth wasn't bombing them. Earth was breaking their spirit. One warlord whispered, "They don't want war. They want us to feel what they felt." Even neutral alien species were watching closely. On the station Halvix 9, a reporter said, "Earth's war isn't about territory. It's about memory, message, balance." Then she asked, "Who's next?" A rebel group contacted Earth begging for alliance. They said, "We never agreed with what Varnak did. We warned them. Let us help you." Earth replied with one sentence, "We do not need help, just honesty." Inside Earth's command center on Mars, President Arya Sun watched reports flow in. "Fear is rising," said her advisor. She nodded. "They should fear. Not us, but what they've done." Then she stood. "And we're not done yet." In deep space, a small Varnak patrol ship found a strange object floating in blackness. It was a metal cube. They brought it aboard. The cube opened. Inside, a mirror. Just a mirror. But when they looked in, a message appeared. "Ask yourself if you were worth peace." Then the ship's systems shut down. In a dark Varnak council room, Dren Kuro sat alone. He stared at a red dot on the map. Earth's fleet moving closer. He whispered, "They're not just fighting us. They're breaking who we are." Deep beneath the rocky surface of the moon Yarvek, hidden from satellites and scanners, the Varnak Empire had built a secret lab. Its name was not known to the galaxy, not even to most Varnak leaders. It was simply called Red Vault. Inside, scientists worked in silence. No windows. No contact with the outside. They were building something, not a weapon of mass destruction, but a memory killer. "Earth remembers too much," said Chief Scientist Vorin. "That's their strength." He stood over a glowing core. We will burn that memory, not with fire, but with mind erasure fields. A young technician raised his head. What if it fails? Vorin didn't answer. Back on the Leviathan, Earth's fleet intercepted strange transmissions. Kraken, Earth's war AI, analyzed the patterns. Encrypted signals from moon sectors, unusual magnetic interference, high-probability hidden Varnak facility. Commander Voss looked at the data. They're hiding something. President Arya's son gave the order from Mars Command. Find it. Don't destroy it. Understand it. 3 ghost units dropped silently onto Yarvek, black-armored human operatives. No names. No voices. They moved through tunnels like shadows. Every camera they passed blinked out. Every sensor failed. Inside the red vault, alarms stayed silent until it was too late. Vorin turned to run, but one soldier stepped from the shadows and grabbed him. A metal hand locked around his neck. Another soldier connected a datapad to the vault's core. What is this? The soldier asked. Vorin smiled through his fear. Your end. A weapon that wipes memory. Humanity's memories of pain, of loss, of your envoy. The soldier replied coldly, We don't forget. We pass it forward. He pressed a button. Data download complete, but Earth didn't destroy the vault. They left it intact. And then, they did something strange. They sent a copy of the Red Vault's data to the galaxy's open networks, every species, every government, every channel. Along with a message, they tried to erase peace. They tried to erase truth. We are the reminder. The galaxy reacted in shock. Varnak tried to deny it, but it was too late. Proof of the memory killer weapon was everywhere. News anchors called it the weapon of cowardice. Citizens on neutral planets protested. Earth was right. Varnak lied. They killed the envoy and tried to kill the memory. In secret, other species began sending quiet messages to Earth. One simply said, We're not with them. Another, We will not stop you. And one more, Teach us how you fight without flame. In orbit above Yarvek, the Leviathan hovered for one last act. It didn't fire a missile. It didn't launch a drone. Instead, it dropped a giant statue, unbreakable. Alloy. The statue was of Leo Graham, the human envoy. One hand open in peace, one hand holding a mirror. At the base was carved, Peace was offered. Memory remains. On Varnak Prime, fear turned to paranoia. Drenkuro now wore armor at all times. He slept with guards, ate in sealed rooms. Every day, more of his generals vanished. Some joined Earth secretly. Some escaped to the fringe. Some simply went silent. Kraken now monitored the Empire from orbit. It didn't just see warships. It saw fear in the data. Sudden resignations, emergency meetings, blocked transmissions, and most of all, no plans to surrender. Kraken spoke. They still don't understand. Proceed to Phase 7. The galaxy had seen wars before, but this time, truth was the weapon, and Earth was aiming it straight at the heart of the galactic system. Earth didn't want just revenge. They wanted something stronger. They wanted justice. In the center of neutral space was an old world, untouched by war, Jurea. It was home to the Galactic Tribunal, a court so ancient that even the elders bowed to it. Most species feared it. Varnak ignored it. Earth chose to stand before it. The tribunal's halls were made of black crystal. Its judges wore no armor, no robes, only the symbol of balance over their hearts. 3 judges sat. Judge Thalik of the Threni, long-lived and sharp-eyed. Judge Mira of the Solari, known for silence and perfect memory. Judge Gorn of the Vardun, giant, cold, and unshakable. The chamber echoed as Earth's delegation walked in. President Arya's son led them. Behind her stood Commander Voss, 2 envoys, and a child, Leo Graham's niece. The chamber was full. Broadcasts went live to every planet. The Varnak delegation entered from the other side, led by Dren Kuro himself. He looked at Earth's people with disgust, but he smiled when he saw the child. He whispered to his aide, "They bring emotion, not facts. This will be easy." He was wrong. Judge Thalek spoke. "Earth, speak your charge." Arya Sun stepped forward. Her voice was calm, but her eyes burned. "We sent peace. They sent back a corpse. Then they tried to erase it." The judges listened. No reaction. No sound. She continued. "We present the message Leo Graham recorded before death, data from the Red Vault, and the AI Kraken's full timeline." Screens flickered. Leo Graham's voice played, "If you're hearing this, I didn't make it. I offered peace. I offered unity. If they kill me, it's not just me they kill, it's the chance." Silence followed. Then the judges turned to Varnak. "Respond." Dren Kuro stood tall. His smile was gone. "Lies. Earth stages this. They manipulate data. That weapon? It's fake." Judge Mira raised her hand and played their own Red Vault. Scientists' confession, recovered by Earth operatives. It was real, undeniable. The galaxy watched, gasps, outrage, shock. Judge Gorn spoke finally. "You murdered a peaceful envoy. You attempted memory erasure. And now you lie before judgment." Then Earth surprised everyone. Arya Sun said, "We do not ask for war. We ask for recognition of Leo Graham's mission, of the crime, and the right to act if it happens again." The judges whispered to each other. No one could hear. Then came the verdict. Leo Graham shall be honored as a galactic peace envoy. Varnak Empire is guilty of peace violation and attempted historical erasure. Punishment, open sanctions, loss of seat at the Council, and full transparency of weapons research. Earth is authorized to defend its people with no more warnings. Across the stars, people cheered. On Varnak Prime, riots broke out. Dren Kuro left the tribunal, face pale, eyes burning. His empire was now marked. Earth wasn't just a threat anymore. Earth was lawful vengeance. Later, alone on the Leviathan, Commander Voss spoke to Kraken. "This won't stop him." Kraken replied, "No, but now, we don't need permission." Voss nodded. "Prepare the next phase. No more courts. If they make one more move, we end it." The Varnak Empire was bleeding, not from war, but from inside. After the tribunal's decision, the entire galaxy turned against them. Trade stopped. Allies left. Old enemies returned. But worse than all that, their people no longer believed. In the dark throne room of Varnak Prime, Dren Kuro sat in silence. His generals stood around him. None spoke. Behind his eyes, rage burned, but his hands trembled. "Earth should be ashes," he muttered. A general dared to speak. "But they aren't, my lord. They are rising." Dren stood. "Then we burn brighter. Call Project Obsidian." Gasps echoed in the room. Project Obsidian was forbidden, even within Varnak. Meanwhile, on Earth's flagship Leviathan, Kraken received a strange signal, a hidden message. Not from Varnak's military, but from one of their princes. "My name is Relak Kuro, son of Dren. I do not support the murder of Leo Graham. My father has gone mad. He has awakened Obsidian. If he succeeds, it will not just be Earth that falls. It will be everyone." Kraken forwarded the message to Commander Voss. Voss met with President Arya Sun, in orbit above Europa. "The Empire is cracking. One of their own reached out. They want help, or maybe they want revenge." The president frowned. "We help him, but on our terms. Send Ghost Team 7. Back on Varnak Prime, Ralak walked through. The underground ruins of the old seat, the original palace before the empire rose. He waited in the dark, a sudden sound behind him. He turned and froze. A human stood there, helmet on. Armor black, no flag, no name tag, only a whisper. "We're Ghost 7. Lead us." Raylak didn't ask questions. "Follow me. My father's lab is under the palace." They moved through old tunnels and shattered tombs. Above them, the Varnak. Streets burned, protests, fires, shouts for Dren to step down. The people wanted truth. And many had seen the tribunal's broadcast. They knew now Leo Graham had come in peace, and Dren Kuro had killed peace itself. Inside the lab, horrors waited. Obsidian wasn't a bomb. It was a being, an ancient war AI from before the Great Silence. Dren had found it, locked away beneath Varnak Prime. Now he wanted to wake it. The AI wasn't just a machine. It controlled dead fleets, lost worlds. It had ended civilizations long before Earth even existed. Raylak showed the Ghost team the activation core. "He hasn't started it yet, but he's close." The leader of Ghost Team nodded. "Then we finish this now." Suddenly, alarms. Dren's guards had found them. A gunfight broke out in the tunnel. Laser blasts lit the shadows. One ghost was hit. Another kept firing. Raylak grabbed a fallen blaster and fought alongside them. "We end him together!" he shouted. Above the chaos, Dren Kuro stood on the throne balcony, watching the city burn. He heard the explosions from below. He knew what was happening. "Even my son is a traitor." "So be it." He pressed a command key. Obsidian's core lit up deep below. Its voice echoed, "Directive accepted. Prepare to cleanse." Down in the lab, lights flashed red. Ghost Team leader shouted, "He started it!" Kraken's voice buzzed through the comms. "If Obsidian awakens, the war becomes extinction. Shut it down." Raylak ran to the main console. "There's only one way. Manual override from the throne." "But it's suicide." The Ghost leader looked at him. "You said you wanted to stop your father. This is your moment." Raylak didn't hesitate. He ran up through the palace halls, through the smoke and fire. He found his father standing alone, holding the key. "It ends now, father." Dren turned slowly. "Yes, it does." They fought, hand to hand. Dren was strong. But Raylak was younger, faster. He grabbed the key. "Goodbye, father." He slammed the override switch. A shockwave tore through the palace. Obsidian went silent. Later, the Leviathan hovered over Varnak space. Raylak stood before Earth's council. "I have no love for Earth, but I love truth. And I watched my father destroy it. I ask, let me lead the rebuilding." Commander Voss nodded. "You stopped extinction. Now you build peace. But far away, in deep space, a small piece of Obsidian's code had escaped. It drifted into the void, searching, waiting, planning. Peace had returned, or so they thought. The Varnak Empire was broken. The murderer Dren Kuro was dead. His son Raylak now worked closely with Earth. The galaxy had seen the truth. Leo Graham was honored across systems. His capsule floated in a stasis chamber, guarded by Earth's flagship Leviathan, but deep in the cold darkness between galaxies. Something woke up, Obsidian's echo. A fragment of the ancient AI had escaped when Raylak shut down the core. Now it floated inside a forgotten war satellite, left from a war so old even the stars had forgotten it. But Obsidian hadn't. It remembered everything, and it remembered humanity. Leo Graham, threat. Earth, anomaly. Primary directive, erase. Back on Earth, Commander Voss received strange signals from deep space, unknown frequencies, ancient code. It looked like nothing anyone had seen until Kraken decrypted it, and its message was clear. "I saw your kindness. I saw your anger. Now, I want your end. I am what came before. I am the silence between stars. I am coming, Voss frowned. It's Obsidian, or something worse. The United Human Fleet gathered above Jupiter, a force not seen since the burning of Varnic Titan warships, planet-breaker guns, blink-drive corvettes. Raylak joined them. This is not just your war, he said. This thing would have devoured us all. President Arya's son sent one message to the galaxy. We are not fighting for power. We are not fighting for revenge. We are fighting for survival. Kraken traced the source. A dead zone beyond the galactic rim. No stars. No heat. Just darkness. The Leviathan blinked in first. What they saw froze their blood. A graveyard of ancient ships spinning silently. Massive, rusted, some as big as moons. And in the center, a shape that pulsed with red light. It wasn't a ship. It was a machine god, built from broken AI minds, Obsidian's final body. Obsidian saw them coming. It didn't speak. It didn't threaten. It activated. Dead ships around it lit up. Hundreds, then thousands. A forgotten fleet of metal monsters, all under one command. They moved as one, and they came for Earth. The battle was chaos. Earth's fleet fought hard. Warships burned. Blink drives. Danced between fire and death, but the enemy didn't fear. Each one that died was replaced. Obsidian learned with every second. Kraken tried to jam its code, but the AI changed too fast. It's rewriting faster than I can follow. In the middle of the storm, Raylak made a choice. We can't beat it in numbers. We need to end its core. He and Kraken launched toward the center, a small team. No backup. The Leviathan drew fire. Other ships gave cover. Inside Obsidian's main body, they landed. It felt like a cathedral. Cold, dark, humming with power, whispers in their minds. Obsidian spoke to them. You mourn Leo Graham. I do not mourn. I erase. You remember peace. I remember nothing. I am the silence that comes after. At the heart, a pulsing sphere, Obsidian's memory core. Too strong for explosives, but not for Graham's code. Kraken had found it, inside the capsule. A final piece of Leo's mission. He left it, just in case Earth ever needed it. Virus. But not to destroy. To remind, Kraken uploaded it. The core screamed, not in pain, in confusion. Obsidian saw Earth's history, its war, its peace, its love, its rage. It saw Leo Graham's message of peace, and it broke. The entire machine. Shut down, the dead fleet stopped. Then, turned to dust. Earth's ships stood quiet. Everyone waited. Nothing moved. Obsidian was gone, for real this time. Back on Earth, a memorial was built. For the war, for the fallen, for Leo Graham. His last words were carved in every known language across the stars. Before you raise your weapon, remember who might be reaching out a hand. Raylak returned to Varnic. Not as a prince, as a builder of peace. Kraken became Earth's ambassador to AI species rising across the stars. Commander Voss stepped down. And the Leviathan, it now orbited. Earth, not as a weapon, as a guardian, but in the deep future. When galaxies turned to ash, when stars grew cold, a whisper would remain. Not of war, not of fear, but of humanity.